What is going on, everybody? My name is AJ, and we are here playing The Hunter, Call of the Wild. We have been called to Africa by my grandfather, Jabulo, who is finally retiring from his position as Senior Warden at the Vurhonga Savanna Reserve. Apparently, he believes I am a good enough fit to take over his duties, and he invited me here. On my first day, I was able to find an outpost, shoot my first animal, and discovered that there are poachers out on the savannah that I need to help deal with. I don't need to take care of them, but I do need to find some traps that they've laid out, and that is exactly where I start. So join me as I roam the Vurhonga Savanna, looking for animals, collecting water samples, trying to find wayward German Hootuber who seems to have run afoul of a ghostly Jackal that has been plaguing my grandfather for decades. Can we help him find peace, or will we also join him in this curse that seems to be running through our family? Join me as we find out as we go through the quests for the Vurhonga Savanna. I quickly made my way to the central savannah to see if I could find any traps the poachers left behind. I think I found one.
Another good deed. With so many good deeds, the animals are going to like you. I can tell.
With these poachers' traps removed, my grandfather gives me another task, and that is to go and help deal with a Springbok explosion in population. He wants me to go to what he calls a Springbok city and explore, tag some Springbok, and eventually do a little hunting.
Go beyond poachers and aging wardens. There are bad spirits, Iloko, bringing mischief and misfortune. They only come because our ancestors are so angry with the state of this place. We need to make an effort to appease them. This grassland sustains a cross-section of plants and wildlife, from the smallest birds to the harems of the pronking Springbok. Or at least, the grassland used to sustain them. Now there are so many Springbok, we may have to rename this area Springbok City. On that, your codex has plenty of helpful information. But in Africa, the world is your classroom. Why only read about Springbok when you can see them for yourself? Find a male and a female, one of each, and spot them. Observe them.
I would love to. I'm only seeing Gemsbok, though, and that one mangy lion. While waiting for Springbok to appear, I saw a blue wildebeest that looked potentially like a diamond. I took a shot. I was wrong, but I'm not sad to have collected these two. But before we go much further, let's take a look at some of the rare fur types of the animals that grace the Vurhonga Savanna.
Lion, albino, blonde, dark brown. Springbok, albino. Warthog, albino, red. Side-striped jackal, albino, melanistic. Blue wildebeest, albino, crowned. Gemsbok, beige, dark, gold. Lesser kudu, albino, melanistic, dusky, red, brown. Cape buffalo, albino, and leucistic.
Sorry, this is a potential 38, which is their diamond. So, sorry. 1 second. Okay, gold. That's fine. 37.6. Good to know. Except it's a gold. Look at that. Gorgeous. It ended up being a 35.26, so it was a little off. My 37 was its max, so... But that's a great looking blue wildebeest, so we'll take it.
She's a beauty. Nice find. Both male and female Springbok have horns, and the females are only a smidge smaller than the males, so you'll have to learn to tell them apart. Okay, one down. Now find a Springbok of the opposite sex. Excellent specimen of a male Springbok. During the mating season, you'll see guys like him locking horns, vying for territory. So, Lion, now that you've had a look at your prey, studied how the males and females behave, how about a hunt? Anyone with 2 hands and a rifle can shoot a Springbok. But if you're going to cull Springbok City, you have to be mercifully efficient. Hunt a Springbok of your choice and down it in one shot with 100% integrity.
Pretty sure got along. Because this is a vital hit. That's good.
Premium work. This Springbok is fully intact. Nothing spared, nothing wasted. Look out, Springbok City. A new lion is in town.
With the first Springbok out of the way, I was tasked with killing 5 more to help cull the herds so that the savannah can survive. I've already got 1 that I'm about to pick up here, and it took me a while to find the rest. Shot her in the butt. Black-brown, except.
There's one Springbok.
Except.
2 Springbok. Good lion.
I managed to get it, but I don't know that it's going to die. All right, let's go over there. Silver.
3 Springbok down. 2 more to go.
Was not a great shot.
Harvest 1 more Springbok to put the herd on red alert.
I'll do it. Wow, what a shot.
Well done. You can give the Springbok herd an extra push by hunting them periodically. And don't forget to spook them. You'll know you have mastered your approach when you can get within 50 meters before spooking them.
I made my way to the wishing tree that my grandfather was speaking of, just to see what he had planned. It seemed like he had some sort of gift before we carried on.
Here's my wishing tree. Of course, this is the first place I came to celebrate when I heard you were coming back to Africa. I played the drum and sang to praise the ancestors. Then I put something special inside the tree. It's there, waiting for you. Take it.
I hope you know this is not inside the tree.
Carved it myself. Do you recognize Nyami Nyami? The Zambezi call him the river god. He brings his waters rushing, whoosh.
What the rest of this conversation boils down to is the fact that I'm going to need to hunt 1 more Springbok while I'm holding this idol. And it took me a little while to find one.
Son of a bitch!
Of course, while I was searching for that Springbok, I got a little distracted. Very sorry, madam. Cannot have a lion running around. There she is. Shot her right. Oh, God, right in the brain. What a shot from 274 meters. I don't know how many times I have been eaten by a lion. But I will tell you, I don't want it to happen again. So we're taking precaution. For a brief moment there, I completely forgot what I was doing and started shooting everything sort of willy-nilly. However, we're gonna pick this guy up and course correct back onto the missions. Just bear with me. Shot it right in the neck. After some searching, I did finally manage to find a Springbok, and I made a pretty great shot on him. Except... is that good enough? Grandfather confirmed that it was indeed good enough and sent me to the river to bury the relic. As I was getting ready to make my way towards the next location, my grandfather decided it was time to tell me about a lady named Maria whose husband was murdered by poachers. He of course suggested I do not bring that up if I ever speak to her, but however this was not part of any sort of main story quest, so I ignored it for now.
He was killed by poachers. When you meet her, don't bring that up to her. It's too painful to discuss.
Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is walk up to her and go, "So I heard your husband was murdered by poachers. How's that feel?"
Ah, that's the spot. Bury a yummy there. The ancestors thank you. I can tell this is out of your comfort zone. My traditions are silly to you, I know. You kids always laughed at me because I went to the Sangoma when I was sick. But the Sangoma's healing always worked. Always. So, who knows? Maybe now we'll get this river rushing one more time.
Grandfather then decided that it was time for me to head to the southern region of the reserve, the Zonga. He wanted me to take a picture of a recently refurbished cave painting for the website and also to check on the quality of the restoration.
The path through the gorge is marked in your codex. Along the way, I'll need you to take a photo of a special site. Have your camera ready.
The quests right now don't seem to be looking for me to be hunting. So, a 4x4 it is. But I'm not the best driver. Oh, ow, ow, ow. It's a terrible idea.
There's the Marshall restoration site. You got your camera? Hey, Marshall College does surprisingly competent restoration work. Thank you for getting this.
With the pictures collected, I was then tasked to head into the swamps, where I was going to get dirty. Really dirty.
Don't get squeamish on me. You've done well so far. Now it's time to get your hands dirty. And your feet. And your legs.
With fair warning about the lack of cleanliness I would have on this mission, I was sent to collect some water samples to make sure that the swamps were not laden with a disease that is noted as TNT. Apparently it wreaked a lot of havoc on the area beforehand, and we just want to make sure that that is now under control. Oh, and apparently I decided to take a shot at a lesser kudu along the way. Just scare everything, that's fine. I just anticipate this being bad. Oh my god. This is a terrible... Don't. Course correct. Alright. We survived. Oh my gosh.
That's been TNT. Sepsis and trypanosomiasis. A virus that forms nagana in livestock. Nasty disease. Very bad. In humans, the same virus forms sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness, It's no way to die. That's how it goes. Take another sample from the site marked on your map. This is easy work, right? Too easy, maybe? Ish, then you should be able to get it done faster. Thank you for mucking around. Your brother will submit these samples for testing.
After collecting the water samples for my grandfather, he gave me a few more quests to try and complete. One was for a guy named Flip. Apparently he needs some pictures taken. And the other was to help cull and keep the population down for the wildebeest in the area. I, however, chose to do neither of these and stick with the main story. Apparently there's a German Hootuber who is in a bit of distress.
Right this moment, though, you have another priority. Flip Osprey isn't the only foreign media we've had touring Vurhonga. This German Hootuber guy or whatever, Gustav Baden, he calls himself a world-famous ghost hunter. I took one look at him. I said, if this man sees a real ghost, the only thing he'll do is turn a paler shade of white.
Apparently, Baden has stopped responding via radio, and it is now on us to check on him and see what exactly has gone wrong.
He should have a camp set up to your west in the area marked on your map.
Okay.
Don't stop looking until you find that Mampara Baden.
Got some warthogs, just in case you missed them.
You found Baden's camp? Where's Baden? You're a scout? Figure out where he's gone. He left a note. Let's read it.
Now, the note is hilariously read by my grandfather, but really all you need to know from the beginning is that he met a couple of hunters, which we believe are now poachers, and they stole a bunch of his stuff. The really important bit is coming next.
He goes on. No worries. As long as I have my camera, my mission continues. Those hunters tipped me off on some local fungi that may help me see the loco. So I'm off to look for buffalo dung. I promise to check in with you ASAP. What a fool. I hope he falls in that dung. We've got a whole reserve to mind. We can't spend all day chasing a Hootuber or whatever that means. But at least now we know there are poachers active somewhere in the Zonga. We have to figure out where exactly. Until then, you should be Oh no. Your brother says one of our electronic trackers has gone dormant. The tracker on Rambolo. She's our last Melembe. Our last rhino. You must go to Rambolo's last location and find out what the problem is. Hurry. If those poachers have found her, Rambolo is in trouble.
I do my best to make it over to Rambolo as quickly as possible, but considering there's no other rhinos on this map, I don't think it turns out well.
What have you found? Please let her be alive. Please, ancestors. This is a tragedy. I am gutted. Rambolo wasn't just an animal. She was like family to everyone on this reserve. Now she's gone.
Grandfather then tasked me with trying to find any sign or source of these poachers and see if I could track them there. Not for me to take care of. He's going to then call the police and have the police handle it.
Good. Follow those tire tracks. Observe and report.
After following the telltale signs of a poacher expedition into the reserve, I discovered their camp. Where have they gone? Why have they so carelessly abandoned their post? Grandfather asked me to then check around the area and see if there are any more poachers' traps and disable them if I can. Whoa. What?
One less animal for the poachers. But I'd never leave just one trap. Keep scouting. Good work. What is that? Those shots were not meant for you, but they weren't far off either. There's a hut nearby. You should try to take shelter there. But be careful. I have no desire to bury my grandchild today.
Holy crap. Ugh. Ow. Ow. After a near-death experience, once again with the 4x4, I do make it to the hut that Grandfather was talking about, and we discover quite the mess. He's wondering why there's so many shells in the area, and he makes a startling revelation.
Maybe they're being hunted by the Eloko. Another thing we'll have to investigate. Get moving. We've got reports of smoke coming from the fever tree forest to your west. None of my rangers are out there burning fires right now. Go check it out.
Ooh.
More shots fired. And they're screaming.
Exactly.
Your brother thinks they might be getting trampled by buffalo. But we'd hear the rumble of hooves if that were the case. My gut tells me those poachers are being punished by the Eloko. Your heart is pure, grandchild, but tread lightly, or the Eloko might come for you too.
With the poacher's trail gone cold, all I can do is put out their campfire, discover some oddities left on the ground like a shotgun, a pair of shoes, and some clothes. With that in mind, Grandfather directs me to rest at a nearby shelter so that I can actually get some sleep for the night.
For now, you should rest. There's a shelter nearby. Go take a break there. But keep your eyes and ears open for trouble. Should be safe to go inside. What are those pictures of? A ghost jackal? No, not again. Your brother thinks Gustav found his fungi and it inspired these drawings. But I think we are dealing with something well beyond fungi. A restless spirit who does not want Gustav Baden to journey further along.
While I was out, apparently the rest of the wardens could not find Gustav Baden. So, Grandfather asked me to continue the search yet again. To my surprise, he left a note on the outside of the cabin.
Eish, Baden left a note while you were sleeping. So he is nearby. And at least he's still alive. Read the note.
After reading Baden's note, it is quickly discovered that his next destination is the potholes. Grandfather is almost certain that a ghost jackal is involved in some way, shape, or form with this man's plight, and he sends me after him yet again to see if we can discover him alive and hopefully get him out of the Vurhonga Savanna.
From here, head north into Vapaladiamba, the Western Reserve. You'll remember it for the big plateau, the one with a view to die for. That's where you find the potholes that Baden mentioned in his note. There are plenty of places along the river to check for signs of Baden. The first spot is marked on your map. The area ahead, you might remember, is popular with the tourists. Stop and check it out.
While exploring the potholes, Grandfather eventually tells us of a dark time in his life when Mbali apparently went out while she was sick and didn't come back after 9 hours. He discovered her being consumed by a group of jackals, and he had to put them down purely because they consumed human flesh. Now, he thought that they killed her, but it turned out that it was the sleeping sickness that got her, and they were doing what jackals do, scavenging. However, in killing the family of jackals, he did not honor them, and thus kicked them into the potholes for their corpses to rot. And because of this, he believes that the ghost jackal has cursed his family, and consequently, I believe that includes me by association. So with all that darkness out of the way, how about some humor where I launch myself into a pothole? Oh my god, please don't fall off the mountain. Oh, that was scary. Oh.
This is the place where I shot the females.
Wow. Okay, I forgot that was coming up. Let's move on to the next spot. We're going to find another outpost.
You made it. Any signs of Baden? No? Oh, this is bad. Very bad.
You left a letter.
What a mess. What kind of Mampara gives away perfectly good gear to strangers? Gustav Baden, our Mampara of the month. Has he left another note? I have to give Baden credit. He's an even bigger Mampara than I thought. Poisoning himself with fungus and scaling the plateau is perhaps the stupidest thing I have ever heard happening at Vurhonga. And I've been here 45 years. All right. With any luck, Baden's stranded at the top of the plateau. So far, you've saved several animals. Today, you're going to save a Mampara. Follow Baden's tracks to reach this base camp of his. Baden's boot prints, great. At least he has proper footwear, and he seems to be capable of walking in a semi-straight line. Follow him. Wait, are there jackal tracks alongside Gustav's? Oh, that leaves us with a question. Was Gustav following the jackal, or was the jackal following Gustav? The only way to know is to find them. And based on where you are, I'm betting they were on their way to the Weeping Face. Check it out up ahead. You're just about up to the Weeping Face? Tourists and film crews love this spot. I don't need to explain the name, do I? I mean, it's a face that looks like it is weeping. What else would you call it?
Well, he kind of does. He kind of does, sure. So I finally find Baden's abandoned campsite. It looks disheveled. He left a note that seems to suggest he's gone completely crazy. And the quest notes seem to suggest that a storm is brewing. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is no storm. No storm ever comes. But footprints suggest that Baden has gone across something called the Broken Bridge, which is not good. I don't want to go on a broken bridge, but I have to anyways to see where this crazy Hootuber has gone.
Of course the sky is belching right when we're trying to save this Mampara from himself. Hurry, grandchild, and be careful. Mind your step up there. Mind the ghost.
Confirmation he's up here.
Those tracks you're following won't last long in a flash storm. Hurry, quickly.
Is it supposed to be raining? Because it's not raining.
That bridge should be just ahead. Ancestors help us.
Granddad, you gotta calm yourself, man.
Good. You found the broken bridge. What about Baden? What do you see? That looks like a bit of the jacket Baden wore. You need to collect it so we can confirm. Be careful. You're no Mampara, but gravity will pull you down same as anyone else.
Well, obviously, gravity pulled me down, and my grandfather got a little upset about it. He was worried for a while there, but I do come to and I discover a great big cave that is begging for me to explore.
Grandchild, you're moving again. If you can hear me, you're close to a cave. That cave is where the jackals kept their den. I don't know what the ghost jackal wants from you, but I tell you this. A hunter with a pure heart like yours should not fear the dead. You will be protected by your integrity, guarded by your ancestors, even as you journey into darkness.
This cave system is particularly long, and everywhere I turn, there are these little spirit jackals that appear out of nowhere, and I tried to shoot at them once, but you can't shoot them. So we're gonna move through this cave system as quickly as possible. Whoa, Pedro! Nothing like having your trusty dog spawn out of a rock.
Grandchild, in yourself.
Here is where I attempt to shoot one of these guys, and unfortunately it breaks my game just a little bit. But at the end of the cave system, I find this jackal skull.
What's that? Is that your sibling signal? Grandchild, is that you? Praise the ancestors, I was right. You really are a hunter with Noi blood. Now you believe me. You know the ghost jackal is real because you've seen it. And you have an opportunity to help me make things right. There is a tree that only appears in the moonlight. Find it. That's where you must bury the jackal's skull and offer praise and respect to the dead on behalf of your grandfather.
I mean, I assumed it was this creepy one over here. Whoa, hey guys.
The dead do not disappear. They live on through us. The dead are always watching us, so we always have a chance to be redeemed in their eyes.
Wish that striped jackal wasn't there.
Thank you, grandchild. It's a new day, grandchild, for both of us. While your brother thinks a medic should check you for signs of mushroom poisoning, I think you have finally lifted the curse on Vurhonga. I carried this weight like a boulder on my heart for decades. Now, it's gone. I feel 5 years younger. No, 10 years. But I called you here so I could retire, and there's no taking that back. Obviously, the job is yours. So, congratulations, Senior Warden. Now you get to deal with your brother and his Hootubers and his spiritual skepticism. Congratulations. And do you know what else you get as Senior Warden? Can you guess? It's more work.
Of course, Grandfather goes on to tell me all about the exciting quest opportunities that are now unlocked for me. There's a lot that gets added to this, a lot of journal stuff, a lot of random quests. There's one called Fecal Matters, which I think literally it's just me picking up poop. So, yeah, there's a lot going on here. But I just wanted to do the main story quest and see what it was like. If you guys are looking for full walkthroughs, there's plenty of people on YouTube or Hootubes that you can look up and see with all the story beats. But if you haven't tried this for yourself, absolutely give it a shot. It was a fun story with the Ghost Jackal and all that. But yeah, for now, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.